Hi everyone, David Maley here, and today we're going to talk about the top 5 interview questions for a data analyst. What are they? What do you need to know? We're going to give you the answers to them. So before we start, let me tell you, I am a data scientist slash data analyst. I've been doing this for many years, and I actively hire and have input with other departments into their hires for data analysts, data scientists, data analyst managers, data science managers, and so on. Co-ops also. I've recently hired, right now actually you'll probably see on my LinkedIn profile, 3 co-ops for data science and data analytics. So without further ado, let's get into this. So the top 5 data analyst questions, interviews, and answers. So the first one, why do you want to be a data analyst? It's a big one. What is it? How do you answer it? So the simple thing is use a planetary circular model. So in the middle, you have data, right? And around this are your skills. So you want to be able to explain to the person you're talking to and tell them, I love data, and this is why. These are my skills. They all point back to this, right? So you're not saying English and maybe some statistics and stuff. Instead, you're saying SQL querying the data, cleansing the data, using R, Python, to extract ideas, to visualize things, using different visualization tools like Power BI and dashboards. All those things point back to the data and show them, hey, this guy or this lady, they really know and like data because all their skill sets point back to this. That's what you want to show. Number 2, why do you want to join our company? Why do you want to be or what do you know about our company? That's even better. So what do you know about our company? So think about it. Don't just use Wikipedia and look it up and give them a recap of what their business is. They don't need to hear that. They don't want to hear that. What they want to hear instead is more tailored to what they're hiring for. So for instance, if it's a marketing data analyst position, right? They'll want to know something more related to marketing, maybe digital, maybe e-commerce. Try and focus on that. If it's a health-related analytics position, then you want to go and look at maybe some projects you've done or some research you've done into the health field that is or that you find really interesting. So back in 1995 and 94, there was a book called The Hot Zone, which was brought about Ebola. It was written about some Ebola outbreaks. And you could talk about things like that. You could talk about the new COVID thing. You gotta be careful with that, though. That's a little bit, some people might have had people that unfortunately passed away from it, and that might be a little bit marginal. But other things like diabetes and all these different data sets you could talk about and different developments, and there's all kinds of stuff you can talk about. Make yourself interesting. Make them say, hey, that person's interesting. They know what's going on in our niche in what we're dealing with, and he'll be able to communicate, or she'll be able to communicate with the executives and so on. The next 2 questions are, what is the most difficult data project that you've had to deal with, or data set, something like that. And then there's another question I have, so that's 3, and then 4 would be hand in hand with that is, you've been given dirty data. What do you do with it? You need to forecast on it. You need to classify it, right? So that would be your question. So those 2 kind of go hand in hand, and basically what it is they're going to try and look at, do you have a process, and how do you think, and how do you handle stress? So the first one is, what was the most difficult data project you've dealt with? They want to hear that you're a solutions person, not a problem person, not somebody that blames others for things. So don't sit there and say, oh, well, the reason why we had it was so tough was this person wasn't doing this and this person wasn't doing this, and that's not what they want to hear. That's a problem person. What they want to hear is, well, we were given bad data that had issues and was missing things, but what we did was we created a process to go and extract that data and deconcatenate the fields that were all messed up together, and this process makes it so that it's clean data going forward, where we took multiple data sources, data from multiple data sources that did not match up, found key matching factors, and created a process that extracts that data into a new data view that we can use going forward that's clean. That's what they want to hear, things like that. So you created a process, you fixed something, you've made it better. And then the other thing is that, so the question of like dirty data, you have that, what do you do with it? Well, obviously first you want to create a process, right? So you want to have a process that first you look at the data. Why is it dirty? What makes it dirty data? Is it missing values, null values? Does it have horribly concatenated fields does it have? What is wrong with it? You want to cleanse it. Once you figure out what's wrong with it, cleanse the data, right? You have to have a process to cleanse it. You want to be able to automate that process if possible. Then the next step is you want to do an exploratory data analysis on it, run through the data and see, well, are there any patterns that are emerging here? Do some quick visualizations, histograms, things like that, bar charts, stuff like scatter plots. Then once you've seen that, you want to start to visualize the data a little bit more, start to bring out what the requesters were asking for, and then some inferences later on that you can get from the data. Well, we've got this and this show that the basket sizes of our customers is growing over time. So this coupon here does really well versus this coupon does not. Whatever, it could be anything like that. That's what they want to see. Is you start with cleaning the data, figuring out what's wrong with the data, cleaning the data, exploratory data analysis, and then so on. And you might have an algorithm in there after that to figure out, classification, random forest. It could be anything. Then the fifth question is going to be, do you have any questions for me? And that one's a big one. So don't go in there and say, no, I don't have any questions. I want to get this over with and go to my next interview. Don't do that at all. This is a very important one. So this one you want to talk about and ask them about themselves, the interviewer, the company or culture, or the job. What exactly what can I expect on my first day in the job? What does this position entail on a typical day? Something like that. It shows that you have interest, that you want to see your fit into the job and their fit for you. Another key thing here is this is where if you want to shine, you can ask them, what issues are you currently facing right now in your company? And that really, think about it for a second. A company has this position open for a reason. There's a problem. It's either they don't have enough people, they have people that can't handle all the process they have in place, they need someone with a certain skill set they don't have, something along those lines. Why? So you're asking for that, and they're going to tell you, well, we have an issue right now with getting all the analysis we have done for our customers on time, or we have an issue with this data source over here that's new that nobody's worked with, and we want to build up some new stuff, we want to build up some new technology, we want to have a higher skill set for this over here. It could be anything, but whatever it is, then you can sit there and say, okay, you're not going to give them a solution, obviously, that's going to be their end for all through this, but the fact that you could take it through and create a process again and just say, look, I've done X, Y, and Z for this company in this previous internship or whatever it is, and this is how that worked, and we could take the learnings from that and apply it to this, and that would probably get us farther along with this or help out. That's what they want to see. Now that's a solutions person. That's awesome. Another great tip, documentation. Do you know how many times I don't see this? The biggest problem of all in data analytics and data science is people that cannot document worth a crap. They can't. So the thing is I want to see that you can. I love it when somebody sends me a project that's well documented, easy to read, shows their code along with all the tests and visualizations along the way. Shows me samples of data as they change it, cleanse it, so on. So there's tools available that are easy to use, R Markdown and Jupyter Notebooks. Go ahead and use them. Take a project you've done, give me like 5 pages, 6 pages, give that to your hiring manager, send that to their HR, their recruiter, or whatever, along with your resume. Watch what happens if you do it correctly. And I've got that in videos. Just go into my channel, my video channel, and look at the videos on R Markdown, Jupyter Notebooks, and those are exactly what you need to turn in. And if you turn in a project like that, documented just like that, shows from step A to step Z or whatever of the task, it shows everything. It shows that you can explain every part of the way. Guess what? That makes you go from the bottom to the top of the pile no matter what, and you pass the people from Harvard and MIT. It doesn't matter where they went to school. If you can give me a well-documented task, same with all hiring managers, you're going to go to the top of the pile. The only time you wouldn't get hired then is if you don't qualify for like initial things, like for instance, if they require and it's mandatory that you have to have a 4-year degree and you don't have one, it's going to be very tough to get past that. But you can still use that to get jobs at companies that don't require you to have a 4-year degree. Anyway, so documentation's great. I showed you exactly we talked about the 5 key steps, right? Or 5 key questions here, which are why do you want to be a data analyst? What do you know about the company, right? What was the most difficult data project you've had to work with? Number 4, you have dirty data. What do you do with it? How do you forecast or classify it? It could be any of those kind of questions. And then number 5, do you have any questions for me? And then you got some bonuses in there. So I hope you found this interesting and informational. This will help you get that high-paying data analyst job. Focus on these things, get the answers to them, know them, but know them from a talk, just like we are right now. We're conversing, we're talking, not from a, where you're sitting there, well, I did X, Y, Z, da, da, da. Have it so that it looks like you know what you're talking about, and you'll get a lot further. Hope you found this interesting and informational. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share, and have a great day.